in it, make sure it's going to clear. Now we're going to come back here and we're going to turn this on the center axis. So I only have about a ½ inch to play with, and some of that will go away. So let's try. Let's just go down, see what we got. A regular spindle gouge and come in right here. Yeah, I think I can do that. 3/8 inch spindle gouge. Well, I'm going to go back to the one that my detail gouge, where I can go in a little bit deeper without fear of hitting the other side. Okay, now we're going to do the final position. We're going to turn that one on center. All I've got to do is round this over and maybe put a secondary feature in there on the same axis. So let's do that. I'm going to use my regular 3/8 inch spindle gouge. Go get speed up a little bit. Clean up the edge. Okay, I'm liking that. I think I want to put just a bit of a coat. Whoops, didn't quite get it right here. Now, the mistake I made is I did not undercut the lid a little bit when I was turning the tenon. So I'm going to give that a try. I'm going to use this very small shop-made parting tool and see if I can just come in there and undercut this just a little bit. Okay, so now let's just show you what it's going to look like. We're going to use this drilled out about a 1½ inch piece of, I think this is poplar, and so having it undercut just a little bit helps the appearance. So we're pretty much done except for drilling the hole. I've got to decide what's the front face and drill the hole for the perch and for the opening. So this is a little jig I made. I put date on jigs 4/13/2014, but basically it's for cutting round things on a bandsaw. You either got to grab this thing with some type of clamp or make you a little jig like this. But this also makes it handy for drilling something round. So we're going to put this in here, and this is going to be orient it the way I want it. This is going to be near the top. Your drill bit for this opening nesting hole, could be 1/4 inch, might be a little bit larger. And there goes that. Next, we're going to have to drill a little hole for the perch. Frank's plans calls for 1/1/16 of an inch. I like one just a little bit larger. I forget what size this is, but it's larger than a 1/16 and smaller than a 1/8. We're going to go straight in. And we're done. Okay, let's go ahead and turn to perch next. I'm going to take advantage of my collet chuck. And one of the beauties of having a collet chuck, actually you do this on other chucks if the dowel will fit, but you can extend the piece of wood all the way into your spindle and then pull it out if you're doing multiples. So if you're doing production turning, you can just keep on going. So we're going to tighten this down by hand. That'll hold it pretty snug. This thing's only going to be about a 1/2 inch long. So when I get ready to test fit this, I want it to fit the size of the hole that I drilled. So I like to use a drill sizing gauge, and in this case it looks like it's 7/64, 3/32, what I thought it was, but it's definitely 7/64. Then we're going to use just a touch of abrasive paste. Think Triple E, Yorkshire Grit, or your homemade version. I've got a video on this if you're interested. There's a link above. Okay, so this is just going to polish it up. This won't even need any finishing. This will take that last 400 grit and bring it up past 1,000, make it shine like a new penny. Just part it off. I better slow this down. I don't want to have to be looking for this on the floor. So let's get my hand close under there. Very tough wood, this ebony. Hard to do is one-handed. Just take my time and work it. There we go. Almost lost it. Because of that bark, I didn't even see the hole. But yeah, that works. That fits in there perfectly. Taking time to organize your shop, and especially around your turning area, really helps speed things up when you can reach out and grab things you need a lot. And a good example of that is the way I store my collet chuck. You've seen that in a recent video. I got it right up here, or I can just reach out and grab it. We've mounted our 2.5-inch square, 5 to 6 inches long piece is going to be the base. This is a piece of Bradford pear. I'm going to turn it around real quick. Okay, I've got it round. Now I'm going to put a chuck tenon on there. I do that by just marking the end here. I know on my particular live center and lathe that'll be just about on the money. Use my 3/8 or 8mm beading and parting tool. And if I wasn't sure that was right, I could always check my go, no-go gauge. Now, again, we want to make this one no more than about 1/2 inch because it needs to accommodate and not bump into the bottom of the chuck. So we're going to mark that. Okay. I think you can see here it's not bottoming it out. It's got about a 1/16 of an inch. That keeps it from leveraging when we start adjusting this thing. Now I want to, first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the 1-inch pedestal at the top, but I want to face this off first. To get this diameter to be close to this, but because it's not perfectly round, we want to get it where maybe it'll just fit underneath the widest area. So I got a little bit more to go. A little bit more. And then I think I am going to make just a tiny little bead there. Frank Penta is the one that showed me how to use this to turn beads. This point tool. That'll help kind of disguise that joint, and that looks good. I like that. Okay, and we probably want to shape the base just so we'll have a feel for where that's what it's going to look like. We're going to part this off when we finish, so let's leave room for the part. That'll kind of mark it for us a little bit. It'll be rounded. It'll come in a little ways. Take this whole thing down a little bit from here to here, narrowing it a little bit just to do a little bulk wood removal. I think we can get rid of most of this even when we turn it away, because we don't want it to be too thick. Do too much more and we're liable to change our design opportunities. Alright, now we're going to do similar to the way that we did it on the top. We're going to go around successively from one to another, and we're just going to tilt this up about 1/8 of an inch. We're going to, this time I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going to do it straight in on the chuck number, no more than 1/8 of an inch. Tighten it down real good, and we're going to have about 4 different features. So it might be good to have a feel for, maybe one of them will go through here. One of them will go through there. And actually we could bring up, I think we can almost bring up tailstock support, but not quite. We're a little bit too far out. Maybe if we do this, it'll give us just a tiny little support. Just do a little sanding on that off camera. Alright, now we're going to go from 1, move it toward 2, make it a tool, ride the bevel, lift the handle till it cuts. Too far. Okay, I like the way this kicks out. Okay, now we're going to turn it on the center axis. Put it back in the original position where the parting cut is in axis, the top of the pedestal is perpendicular, and now we're just going to clean up and figure out how to make that join. Go back to a regular spindle gouge and just get rid of some of this wood and see what happens. Let's cut in from this way and see what that does. Just a couple of sharpening tips. Know where your fingers are at all times, and take advantage of one of these craft sticks to be able to do the fine detail on the sharpening, on the sanding. And since this original cut is made with an 8, I've got a little bit of room to come up underneath it a little bit. Flush cut saw. Let me see if I can't get this base just a little bit. Okay. saw and finish that off. And we can do short order of that with a sanding mandrel, but I'm pleased with how this thing came together. Let's look at the different parts. Like that. I may even dye the base, I don't know, but I'm pleased with that. This is my first multi-axis pedestal birdhouse ornament. Okay, all I got to do is glue this up with a little CA glue and add some finish. If you're interested in a more traditional birdhouse ornament, you might want to click on the link here. Y'all stay safe. Come on back here.